Tech Jacket. In the comics, Zach Thompson is your everyday high school student when he finds a crashed ship and a dying Geldarian named Kelda. The Geldarians aren't built like Viltrumites or Unopans. They are extremely intelligent but physically weak, so their species depends on advanced exoskeletons called Tech Jackets. The crazy part is that for all his strength, Zach's suit isn't earned through training or bloodline. He gets it because Kelda's ship is about to explode. Kelda orders the jacket to detach from him and bond with Zach, so the human standing there doesn't die in the blast. Once that happens, the jacket permanently connects to Zach's body. It becomes part of him, rather than acting like a costume he can take off anytime. So, a suit designed to compensate for a weak alien body gets bonded to a tougher human body, making the result way more dangerous than intended. Flight, strength, armor, weapons, life support, energy blasts, adaptive systems, all of it comes from one alien survival device attaching itself to the wrong species.
Green Ghost. Green Ghost has one of the simplest power origins in the series. His powers come from a small green amulet. Green Ghost swallows the stone, transforms, and gains the ability to fly, turn intangible, and pass through solid objects. The main thing is that the power is tied to the amulet instead of the person. In the comics, the original Green Ghost is male, while the animated version changes the character into Alana, a fashion photographer. But the basic idea stays the same. The stone is the source. When swallowed, it changes the user's body into that green ghost-like state. When removed, the user returns to normal. This actually makes the Green Ghost power more fragile than it looks. The abilities are amazing, especially intangibility, because phasing can make someone almost impossible to hit if they react fast enough. But unlike Immortal or Adam Eve, the power isn't truly built into the body and is more like carrying a mystical key. Lose the amulet, and the whole superhero shtick falls apart.
Adam Eve. Her powers come from a classified government project led by Dr. Elias Brandyworth, with the goal of making a controllable superhuman weapon. While Eve was still developing in the womb, her body was exposed to rapidly decaying experimental particles, altering her biology at the atomic level. The experiment should have turned her into government property. Instead, Brandyworth got attached to the child and sabotaged the whole plan. When Steven Erickson came to collect the baby, Brandyworth switched Eve with a stillborn child, letting the government believe the project had failed. So Eve grows up as Samantha Wilkins, unaware that her entire body was engineered in a lab. The scale of Eve's ability is where her true strength lies. Eve isn't a pew-pew, just shoot energy beams, one-note powerhouse. She understands matter on a subatomic level. She can reshape objects, create constructs, generate shields, and rearrange the world around her. But Brandyworth also placed mental blocks in her mind to stop her from freely altering sentient life. So her weakness becomes not power itself, but the safety lock built into her brain. If it cracks, prepare for trouble and be ready to make it double.
Mr. Liu. Long ago in China, a dragon destroyed his land and killed his family. The problem was that this dragon simply couldn't be killed. It just couldn't. So sorcerers from different kingdoms came up with a different answer. Instead of destroying the creature, they would seal it inside a human host. Liu volunteers because at that point, he has nothing left to lose. The sorcerers draw an incantation onto his chest and the dragon is trapped inside him. Thus, there's the implication that Liu's power isn't really a transformation in the normal superhero sense. He is more like a living prison of sorts. The dragon exists within him, and when Liu loses control or becomes unconscious, the creature can manifest through him. The scary bit, though, is the fact that the seal won't stay perfect forever. As Liu gets older, the dragon comes closer to escaping, so he keeps himself alive with cybernetic enhancements. His power, rather than being a gift to him and others, is a containment system that slowly fails with age.
Bulletproof. Zandale Randolph grows up with a twin brother named Tyrone, and their parents clearly favor Tyrone. Tyrone becomes the brilliant, science-minded child, while Zandale goes in a different direction and becomes more artistic, more relaxed, and less respected by his own family. Then, Tyrone turns that resentment into something atrociously monstrous. He becomes obsessed with creating superpowers and decides Zandale is the perfect test subject because they are identical twins, same DNA and the same baseline. In Tyrone's mind, that makes his brother disposable, so he drugs Zandale and forces him into the experiment without consent. The experiment works, sure, but it doesn't go as cleanly as it should have. Zandale survives and gains powers, while Tyrone is killed
killed and disintegrated. From there, Zandale becomes Bulletproof, with abilities built around storing and using kinetic energy. That gives him flight, strength, durability, and a power set that makes him look almost Viltrumite adjacent. But the origin isn't heroic at all. His powers came from his brother stealing his autonomy from him, which is quite grim for an origin story.
Immortal. Immortal's origin is vastly different from the other lab-made heroes. His powers come from something mysteriously ancient and unexplained. Thousands of years ago, before modern civilization, he is just a caveman who encounters a glowing blue energy anomaly. Once that energy hits him, his body changes permanently. His DNA is altered, and he becomes something that shouldn't exist. That pure coincidence gives him the core power set everyone knows him for: immortality, regeneration, flight, superhuman strength, and extreme durability. Of course, he is a caveman in his essence, so he doesn't become a polished superhero overnight. He has to live through history and figure everything out the hard way. There isn't Cecil nor the GDA to help him. Heck, there's no training program, and especially no manual for how to be immortal. So over thousands of years, he keeps becoming different people. It's heavily implied that he lived as major historical figures, including Abraham Lincoln, and he also appears across wars, kingdoms, and heroic eras. Hence, Immortal's power gains through his experience. Rather than just being that he cannot stay dead, his real advantage is that he has had centuries to fight, fail, recover, and return. Splode. Rex Sloan comes from poverty. As a child, he is sold off by his family, and the people who take him put him into a program designed to build a super-powered operative. Outright, Rex's powers feel rougher and more practical than someone like Adam Eve. He isn't designed to rewrite reality. He is a basic bee designed to blow things up. The experiments and modifications give him the ability to charge inorganic objects with explosive energy. Coins, cards, small weapons, random debris. If Rex can touch it and time it right, he can turn it into a bomb. The device-based side of his power is essential too. In the comics, his arms are connected to the molecular acceleration ability, which lets him destabilize objects until they explode. So Rex's power is cybernetic and chemical enhancement mixed with years of training. That explains his personality as well, actually. He acts reckless because he was raised like ammunition, whose purpose is only to be shot. Alan the Alien. Alan the Alien's origin is one of desperation. The Inopans were nearly wiped out by the Viltrumites, so the coalition of planets needed someone who could actually stand against the Empire. Their answer was a breeding and genetic engineering program designed to create a fighter strong enough to survive Viltrumite-level combat. The problem is that the program was mostly a disaster. Other subjects were deformed, failed, or simply were not strong enough. Alan was the one success. He was born in a Unopan breeding facility and created to be the strongest version of his species. But even then, he was not originally strong enough to beat Viltrumites. So the program gets shut down. Alan is a success, in broad terms, sure, but he isn't the perfect weapon they wanted. Then, his body eventually reveals the part that makes him truly special. Alan has adaptive physiology. When he survives near-death damage, he can come back stronger. So his true power goes beyond the experiment that created him and becomes the way his body keeps upgrading after the experiment is over. The Coalition tried to build an anti-Viltrumite weapon, failed on the first version, and accidentally created someone who could improve every time he survived the worst beating of his life. Invincible's Maharaga, essentially.